All right, welcome to HIM 150 Chapter 14 walkthrough. Let me share my screen with you. All right, here we are in Chapter 14 homework, and we will continue to follow our regular routine. We check out our patient, Jeffrey, make sure all the information is correct, take our time, read through the case encounter, become very familiar with what's going on. The first thing you want to think about are your diagnoses. So I'm going to look at my post-operative diagnoses. And what is the same as our pre-op, which is a malignant neoplasm of the scrotum, carcinoma in situ. All right, so that is going to actually be our principal diagnosis code. So I would go to my neoplasm table. I would look up the anatomical site. And what is it? Carcinoma in situ. So there is your principal diagnosis code. Is there anything else we need to code under diagnoses, or have we identified everything? Okay, we've identified everything. So let's turn our thoughts to procedures. So what was the procedure? A resection of the scrotum, needle biopsy of the right testis, laparoscopic with ligation of spermatic vein. So the first thing we're going to code is for our biopsy of the testes. Then the resection of the scrotum, and I'll give you a hint, you're not going to find it under resection. What's another name for that? Think about that. And then you will need the anatomical site, scrotum. And then the last piece is the ligation of the spermatic vein. Have we told every piece of information or identified every piece of information in this encounter that we need to? Or is there one more thing that we need to code? You're right, we need one more thing, the anesthesia code. It was general. So add your anesthesia code. Don't forget your physical status modifier. Do you need another modifier to go along with that? Think about it. Also, think about your qualifying circumstances. Do you need one of those codes? Is it applicable to this case study? If yes, code it. If no, then you have told the story of this encounter and you're ready to move to your next case study. Next case study is Barry. Barry's case notes are put forth as SOAP note. Again, we check out our entire documentation. Take your time, read it through thoroughly, make sure you're familiar with it or comfortable with it. Then let's think about diagnoses. We'll go to assessment. So we have malignant melanoma of the skin of the scalp. That's going to be your principal diagnosis. Is there any other diagnosis that we need to include here? Nope, that's all we need. So now it's time to turn our thoughts to our procedure. So what was actually done for this patient during this particular encounter? We have our evaluation and management. And also we have a culture of the lesions were taken in the house lab. So we need to code for the biopsy of the skin lesion. Next, what happened? We have a path report that confirms the lesion was malignant. So we actually also need a pathology and laboratory surgical pathology code. Remember those? You know, is it gross or is it micro exam? And your levels, you have, I believe it's 1 through 5. You will go through each level until you find the appropriate level for this case study. So is there anything else that we need to include in this particular encounter, or have we identified all the applicable information? Okay, I think we've identified everything here. It's time to move to our next case study. Now, with this, again, we take our time, we read through our encounter, make sure you're thoroughly comfortable with it. Once you do, let's look at our diagnosis. What is it? Medulloblastoma. That's going to be your principal diagnosis and your only diagnosis in this case study. Now that you have that coded, let's move to procedure. Central venous access device insertion, or CVAD for short. You need to code that. You would go CVAD insertion. It was what? Central. And if you read the notes in here, you'll find out that it's non-tunneled. So what else do we need to code for this case study? Our anesthesia was conscious sedation, but we do not have enough information. Conscious sedation is coded by time. We do not have enough information in our case study to code for that. It was also given with Versed. Again, we do not have enough information to code for that. So we don't have the amount of Versed that was given. So we cannot code for that at this particular time. If you are actually in real world coding, that information would be available to you. You could go and look at the op report, find out under the anesthesia section, find out how long the conscious sedation was given, the amount of the Versed, and yes, you would code it. All right, I'm hoping again that your confidence in your coding skills is growing, and I will see you in a few minutes and the chapter 15 walkthrough.